for math. Math notebooks out. Today is March 2nd. We are continuing our lessons with measurement. We are looking at capacity, and we've looked at capacity before, but we looked at it with our customary units of measurement. Today we're going to look at capacity using metric. There is going to be a chart that you will need to save on Schoology under math called metric capacity. And that's going to be our chart to help us figure out our conversions. And we have a metric song to listen to before we dive in here. Both lights off, please.
A millimeter you can understand is about as long as a grain of sand. When you buy food at lunchtime, it's about the thickness of...
So I'm going to pause there. Did you guys see how small, I want to go back, a millimeter is? A grain of sand. Not a handful, one single grain. So look right here. This little tan dot right there, guys. That is how small we're talking. Okay? Super tiny.
It's about as long as a grain of sand. When you buy food at lunchtime, it's about the thickness of a dime.
Okay, so a different comparison. Instead of a grain of salt, you could think about a dime. The thickness, ladies and gentlemen, not when you're looking at the flat top of it, okay, not the surface, the thickness of a dime. That's about the size of a millimeter.
A staple from side to side is about a centimeter wide. A fingernail on a girl or guy is a...
Okay, so a centimeter. If you look at one of your nails, the size of your nail, that's about the size of a centimeter.
About a centimeter high.
10 millimeters, a centimeter, 100 centimeters is a meter, 1,000 meters, that's a kilometer, and it's the same for grams and liters.
School bus was diameter is about 1 meter, and a meter is about as far as the length of a guitar.
And soccer fields in a row. About a kilometer you'll go. It's about how far you walk if you cross 12 city blocks.
10 millimeters, a centimeter, 100 centimeters is a meter, 1,000 meters, that's a kilometer, and it's the same for grams and liters.
Imagine holding a grain of sand or a marble in your hand. A short hand from the floor. A 10-minute walk on the shore.
10 millimeters.
All right.
Okay, it just stops at 10 millimeters.
Yeah, it kind of stops like just like in the middle of like a phrase right there. All right, so if you look at Schoology, this picture right here is the one I want you to save to your iPad. And we have milliliters and liters on this one. So has anybody ever used an eyedropper? Maybe for, not for eyes, but even for ears too. If you have an earache sometimes. That little dropper that they have, 20 drops would be about the size of a milliliter. Okay? The water bottle, about the size of a water bottle would be about 1 liter. Okay? And that is an about, not an exact. Okay? Lights on. And actually, I'm going to leave this up here, and we're going to do some problems together looking at capacity. All right, so in your math notebook, ladies and gentlemen, All right. Number 1, they want to know 275 liters is how many milliliters? The abbreviation for liters is going to be a capital L. Okay? Milliliters, the abbreviation is going to be a lowercase m and then uppercase L. All right, so our liters gets a capital letter. All right, what is our grand rule here? If I'm going big to small or small to big here, Mason?
Big to small.
I'm going big to small here. Because remember, if we're looking at milliliters, some drops out of an eyedropper, or a liter about the size of a water bottle here. That's our size comparison. And when I go big to small, do I multiply or divide? What kind of computation? Justice? I multiply. Very nice. And what does it say? How many milliliters is in 1 liter? Charlie? 1,000. So I need to multiply here. 275 times how many? Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we're working with 1,000, what is so wonderful about doing this multiplication then? Do I need to multiply this out? No, I can just count my zeros, right? So it should be mental math. I'm going to take 275 and add how many zeros to it?
3.
And then make sure you put your comma where it goes. Count from the back. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3. That one doesn't need another comma up there then. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm writing it on the board, you should be writing it in your math notebook. Want your notebook up here so you can see it. All right, number 2. Let's slide on over. What I love about measurement is once you guys remember that rule of going from a bigger unit to a small unit or a smaller unit to a bigger, as long as you have our charts, you know how to do it, right? Our process has been the same the whole time. So we get lots of practice with our process of converting. Math word there, converting. Big words. All right, so we have 34,000 milliliters is equal to how many liters? All right, so in this process here, am I going from a bigger unit to a smaller or a smaller to a bigger? Bradley?
A bigger to a small.
He says a bigger to a small is what he says.
No.
No, Bradley? You're fixing yourself already? What's wrong here?
Because milliliters are smaller than
Yeah, milliliters are smaller. Remember the size of like eyedropper compared to the size of a water bottle. So S for small, going to a bigger unit, B for big. And when I go from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, what kind of computation does that get, Megan? Division. All right. And we know how many milliliters are in a liter. How many milliliters in a liter, everybody?
1,000.
1,000. So I need to get a different color. I like using different colors. 34,000 divided by 1,000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this should be mental math here. What do we think? Yeah, just 34. My zeros can cancel each other out here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 34. Mental math here. 34 liters. L, capital L for liters. All right. Let's mix it up here. Something different. Number 3.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to
not math. It says this is actually going to be more mental. If I have a test tube, so like you know like what they use like in science when you're mixing chemicals, those little tubes, okay? What would be more realistic that this container could hold, the capacity that this container could have? Would it be 9 liters or 200 milliliters? I want you to write this down, and I want you to circle which capacity is more realistic for this container, 9 liters or 200 milliliters. Write this whole thing down, circle which number is realistic. Tell somebody next to you, which capacity do you think is realistic? 9 liters or 200 milliliters?
200 milliliters.
Yeah, 200 milliliters, guys, would be realistic. Remember, milliliters are like the eyedroppers, so 200 of those. Versus a liter, that's like a water bottle. So like 9 water bottles for those little science tubes, that'd be too big, right? All right, what about number 4? What about a bird bath? So if you've ever seen, maybe your parents have one, they sit outside on a stand, you fill them with water so birds can come and drink it and take little baths. Tell me which measurement would be realistic. What's the capacity? Either 4 liters or 450 milliliters. Circle 1. What is going to be the realistic capacity here for this bird bath? Circle. Okay. Thanks for the delivery.
My name is Thing 2.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thing 2. Bye, thing 2.
Thank you. I spent so many years.
All right, so you're circling 1. Liters or milliliters? Raise your hand and tell me, what do you think? Liters and milliliters? Raina?
4 liters.
Yeah, liters, like 4 water bottles. Okay, milliliters, it would not fill that bird bath hardly at all. All right. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to give you guys a problem to do some conversion with. We are on number 5. And I'm going to give us 2 here, actually. 5 and 6. Number 5. 5,000 milliliters is how many liters? And number 6, 13 liters is how many milliliters? I want you to work with somebody in your area. Staying in your seat,
1,000.
mask on. Work with somebody in your area to solve these together.
I got 1,300 milliliters for number 6.
Number 5 and 6.
Is it weird that I found out it glitched?
Somebody said they noticed that we're either adding zeros or taking zeros away.
Adding.
And it's nice seeing patterns. So milliliters to liters. Everybody's listening now? Am I going small to big or big to small? Small to big, which means I am doing what kind of computation? Dividing. And we've already kind of memorized 1,000 milliliters to 1 milliliter. So 5,000 divided by 1,000. Mental math, it should be then 5. All right, liters to milliliters. I'm going big to small, which means I multiply. So 13 times 13 times 3? 13 times 1,000, which is 13,000. Very nice. Good job, guys. You're so smart. I agree with that. All right, last one, number 7.
I'm gonna get the F plus if I get all in there.
10,000 milliliters equal how many liters?
I think she was trying to trick us.
All right, am I going small to big or big to small? Small to big, which gives me what kind of computation? Division. And so I'm doing 10,000 divided by what?
1,000.
So my zeros can do what?
Cancel each other out.
And what's going to be my answer?
10.
10 liters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your homework for math. I feel like you guys are experts on this one. You guys flew right through, no issues. Make sure, though, I know you guys are wanting to go fast because you guys found this one easier. We only have 2 measurements, milliliters and liters. But make sure, remember, when we start going fast, sometimes we make silly computation mistakes. Yeah, so make sure we don't go too fast, okay? You have an I Know It Math, 12 problems, working with liters and milliliters, okay? Our metric capacity units. For language, you guys have a review puzzle. It's a crossword puzzle on different types of poems, okay? The word bank's on the bottom of it. You guys have it in your packet. Mrs. Long's class is in your packet. E-learners, it's on Schoology. Submit it to Schoology, okay? You can use Notability if you want to type in the letters or if you want to write with Notability using your fingers. Make sure if you're writing letters with your fingers that I can read them, okay? If it's too sloppy, I'll just have to mark it wrong because I can't read it. You also have a vocabulary on complex sentences. Now, yesterday, we did do complex sentences, but you did the video and the vocab cards. This time, you guys have the read and respond and the vocab game, okay? So a different part of vocabulary for complex sentences, okay? Questions?
What the Khan Academy was extra credit?
The Khan Academy was extra credit. So my friends who had Khan Academy done on time got extra credit. Yep.
The whole time? No extra credit.
Sneaky. Yeah, so my friends who have not completed, it would still be great practice if you guys finish the Khan Academy, but it was for extra credit for my friends who did it. So, and a good amount of extra credit too, it helped them out. All right? So, any questions on your math homework or your language homework? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and get started.